From politician up to prisoner. Now notorious sex offender Milton Orkopoulos is accused of the pack. Deb Frecklington's frontbencher charged while he was already in prison for breaching parole. Team. Relaxed at last, 100 mourners now allowed to attend funerals across the state, but there's still no budging on borders. The road to recovery, more jobs and billions spent as the government pledges to fast-track key projects. Mounting anger and mounting pressure. Calls grow for an officer to face murder charges over this fatal shooting. And quick as a flash, the bright green glow that left everyone guessing.
This is 10 News First Queensland with Georgina Lewis.
Good evening. We begin tonight with breaking news west of Brisbane, where a delicate rescue mission has just taken place after a woman fell down a mine shaft. Let's go to Chris Campy. Chris, what sort of condition is she in?
Georgie, I spoke to officials who took her out in an ambulance really just a few minutes ago. They say she does have a substantial bump to her head and also some hypothermia. We understand she fell a significant distance down that mine shaft. She was only wearing short shorts and some light clothing, and she was in knee-deep water for some hours before this rescue operation took place. We now are understanding that she is an SES volunteer who was working this area, which is littered with coal mine shafts or old coal mine shafts, and she was involved in a search for a missing person. It was during that search that she found herself in that mine shaft and help had to be mounted. So it was her own people who were rescuing her. A significant rescue operation came in. There were multiple fire trucks, multiple SES teams and specialist climbers who went down to get her. It was some tens of metres, we're told, to the bottom of that shaft, so it took a long time to even find her in the first place. But overall, she is now in an ambulance and on her way to better care, and we understand that her injuries aren't too substantial.
Thank you, Chris. Live there at Collingwood Park. The LNP has rallied behind Deb Frecklington, desperate to silence damaging speculation of a leadership challenge. This afternoon, the main contender, tipped to take the reins, ruled himself out of the running.
A public show of loyalty to a leader under pressure.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Deb Frecklington arrives flanked by MPs, a united front following days of internal troubles.
Look, my team and I are determined to win the next election.
One by one, LNP colleagues filed in.
Just going to state categorically, I support Deb Frecklington. She's doing a great job.
Eager to hose down speculation of a spill.
We've got a leader, we've got a great leader, we're sticking with her.
Tipped as the most likely challenger, Shadow Tourism Minister David Crisafulli forced to set the record straight, maintaining he's not part of any plot to take the reins.
Not one person here can say I have ever leaked a skerrick of information. There's 38 people in that room. Not one of them can say that I have ever once said a bad word about the leader, about our prospects of winning.
A tilt at the leadership, he says, is off the table.
So can you categorically rule out challenging?
So the answer to that question is yes.
Deb Frecklington blames the so-called faceless bullies in LNP headquarters for leaking a damaging internal poll showing she's struggling in popularity.
But what I would say to anyone or any detractor is the enemy is the Palaszczuk government.
It just seems to be a group of grumpy old men who want to go back to the bad old days.
Today, blunt advice from a former Premier.
The entire LNP team need to sort of get a grip and get out there and start campaigning every man and woman like their whole future depends on it.
I do not care about the LNP. I'm focused on Queenslanders. They are focused on themselves. Only my government is focused on the job at hand.
The government faces its own challenges this week over the controversial promise to freeze public sector pay rises, which has angered unions and workers. The Premier says a decision is likely in the coming days.
My commitment will be honoured. Okay?
And state political reporter Claire Barnes joins us now. Claire, the government will ease restrictions further.
Yeah, well, Georgie, from tomorrow up to 100 people will be able to attend funerals in Queensland. That's up from just 20 people previously. Funeral organisers or the next of kin will have to keep a record of everyone who attends and keep those names for 8 weeks.
So that if there were to be a case amongst that group of 100, our contact tracers can very quickly get hold of the other people. That's very important.
Well, overnight, Queensland again recorded no new cases of COVID-19. We've also clocked up more than 250,000 tests now. Georgie?
Thank you, Claire. Live there at State Parliament. The PM will fast-track $72 billion of infrastructure projects as part of the nation's road to economic recovery. But as our network political editor Peter Van Onselen reports, recent history shows the reality doesn't always match the promise.
Another week, another big-ticket announcement from the Prime Minister.
Projects that will support 66,000 direct and indirect jobs.
Cash splashes and catchy titles making more headlines. This time, a major infrastructure announcement, $72 billion in projects to be fast-tracked.
Our jobs challenge is a truly national task, and it is now the primary focus of the National Cabinet.
National Cabinet being the shiny new replacement of the cumbersome COAG process that preceded the COVID crisis.
Today I announced that I'm bringing the deregulation task force into my own department, into the Department of Prime Minister and Cabinet as part of the government's JobMaker agenda.
But will today's announceable be delivered in full? Recent history raises some doubts. The $130 billion JobKeeper scheme was announced to much fanfare, but ended up only being $70 billion. Then there was the Drought Fund. The PM announced $7 billion in funding, but the actual spend was closer to $2 billion. The same went for the $2 billion Bushfire Recovery Fund. Only $529 million actually spent so far. And the National Disability Insurance Scheme saw an underspend of $4.6 billion, helping last year's budget numbers look more rosy. 2 weeks ago, a home builder scheme worth $360 million was announced, but the uptake so far has been slow. Despite a track record of over-promising and under-delivering, today the government used question time to sell its latest spending pledge.
Infrastructure is a critical part of that JobMaker plan.
Why has it taken a pandemic for this 7-year-old government to wake up to the need for a bring forward of infrastructure?
And we're also bringing forward the fast track of 15 major projects with states and territories worth some $72 billion.
JobMaker, infrastructure. There's a member who gets it. He understands, unlike those opposite Mr Speaker.
Peter Van Onselen for 10 News First.
The Victorian ALP has been rocked by accusations a party power broker created fake branch members to gain far-reaching political influence. Adam Somyurek has been sacked from his ministerial role and banned from the party over the explosive corruption claims, which he has denied.
Adam Somyurek remained confident as corruption accusations swirled.
I'll talk to you guys in the city, OK? I'm going to Parliament now.
Instead, he drove to the Premier's office where he received his ministerial marching orders.
He was sacked, and that is the fact of the matter.
It followed secret recordings made inside a federal electorate office and on the phone, suggesting Adam Somyurek created fake branch members to gain political power.
We're just going to go to town. This is war. We got massive numbers. We've got about 30 going in every week.
He allegedly used his own money to fund the scheme and was captured on camera asking a businessman to forge members' signatures. He was also recorded making offensive comments about gay Labor staffers and the Minister for Women, Gabrielle Williams.
Fourth thread of the mystery, that stupid Andrews goes. She's a stupid mole.
The things that were said about her are simply unacceptable. Wicked comments, and I simply will not tolerate.
In a statement, Adam Somyurek said he would rigorously defend allegations of branch stacking, but he apologised for remarks about Gabrielle Williams and the LGBTI community, adding these comments have quite rightly cost me my job.
His conduct and his comments are completely deplorable, they are shameful, and it is on that basis that there is no place in my government for him.
The Premier has referred the matter to Victoria's anti-corruption body and the police. A police spokesperson said the force will assess the complaint and work with the watchdog on how best to proceed with the investigation.
The Labor Party have a lot of explaining to do.
The Labor Party will be a better party with the removal of this individual.
Somyurek quit before the federal executive declared he'd never be welcomed back. Simon Love for 10 News First.
2 police officers accused of assaulting a Gold Coast teenager who later died have fronted court for the first time. The senior constables stayed silent as they came face to face with Charlie Robertson's distraught family.
5 years on from Charlie Robertson's tragic death, his family is still mourning their son and brother whose life was cut short.
He was our champion. He was such a good boy. He excelled at everything he did.
The 19-year-old had taken a cocktail of drugs and was unconscious inside a Nobby Beach unit when 7 police officers executed a search warrant in 2015. According to a coronial inquest, they tried to wake Charlie for 90 minutes, which included shining a torch on him, rubbing his sternum, pinching his chest, shaking him, pouring water on him and tipping up the bed he was on. Actions a coroner described as inappropriate, incompetent and disrespectful. Despite paramedics being at the scene, they didn't attend to Charlie. Hours later, the university student was dead.
They could have called an ambulance. He'd be alive with us today.
2 officers, Senior Constables Blake William Joseph Sullivan and Grant Thomas Watkins, have been charged with assault and perjury over the incident. Both fronted court for the first time today and are yet to enter a plea. Do you intend to fight the charges?
Charlie is owed justice. He's owed an apology. We've had nothing resembling any sort of regret, remorse, compassion from anybody.
Charlie's family is now pushing for legislative change so no police officer can walk away from someone who is unconscious or unresponsive.
And we will keep fighting for justice for Charlie.
Both officers have been stood down. Their case returns to court next month. John Paul Gonzo for 10 News First.
The woman accused of the 2018 strawberry contamination crisis has appeared in court for the start of a lengthy committal hearing. Samantha Butler joins us now. Sam, the defence is arguing there were other lines of inquiry which police failed to follow up.
Georgie, Mayut Trin's committal hearing was expected to run for 2 days, but late this afternoon the magistrate adjourned the hearing after her defence requested more information on other police avenues of investigation. The 52-year-old former farm supervisor is accused of an act of sabotage that crippled the strawberry industry in 2018 and sparked hundreds of copycat cases. She's facing 6 counts of contaminating goods with intent to cause economic loss after DNA found on a needle in Victoria led police to arrest her in November 2018. During the hearing today, a co-worker told the court Ms Trin had joked about putting needles into strawberries, but Ms Trin's defence lawyer questioned police witnesses over why certain lines of inquiry stopped, drawing attention to reports of a suspicious vehicle at another strawberry farm in the area in the days leading up to the discovery. Georgie, the matter will now be mentioned in July.
Thank you, Sam. Live there with the latest. A medical examiner has ruled the latest shooting of a black man by a US police officer a homicide. Rayshard Brooks was shot in the back as he tried to escape being arrested in Atlanta. Here's our US correspondent, Eamon Ashton-Atkinson.
At this moment, Rayshard Brooks has about 45 minutes to live.
Hey, you're parked in the drive-thru right now.
He was pulled over for falling asleep at a Wendy's drive-thru, but after he fails a sobriety test,
Put your hands behind your butt.
Brooks tries to escape.
Hey, stop fighting!
Grabbing a taser and running, he then appears to fire it at policeman Gareth Rolfe, who in return shoots 3 bullets into his back. Today, his widow recalls the moment she found out what happened.
They said, well, Miss Miller, we're sorry to tell you I just dropped to my knees.
Tamika Miller was married to Brooks for 8 years, having 4 children together.
I want them to deal with the same thing as if it was my husband who killed someone else.
The policeman has been fired and will know by midweek whether he'll face murder charges.
He's another African-American male that shouldn't have been
murdered, just like George Floyd.
Today, more rallies continued at the scene, which was torched last night, and right across the country. The promise of police reform's not enough to slow protesters down. From New York to Los Angeles, Black Lives Matter demonstrations also took on an LGBTQ theme for Pride Month, as thousands gathered again near the White House, where President Donald Trump returned after celebrating his 74th birthday at a golf course, tweeting the silent majority is stronger than ever. If President Trump had been looking for a birthday present from the polls, he would have been disappointed. Since these protests, Joe Biden has been leading by double digits nationwide, and new polling out today suggests the same thing may be happening in key battleground states. Eamon Ashton-Atkinson for 10 News First, New York.
Another Captain Cook statue has been vandalised. We'll have the details next. Also, why experts say China's death sentence of an Australian man is a warning to us all. Plus, a step in the right direction as Queensland Ballet gets back to work. And foot and injury blow at the Cowboys paved the way for one of the game's rising stars.
Within each of these boxes is a golden opportunity.
You can lift your lids now.
Gold ingredients.
This is your golden ticket to immunity.
What they'll create is pure gold.
I spend my career searching for those food highs where you go, that's bloody brilliant. That was one of those moments.
The Golden Mystery Box, 7:30 tonight on 10.
Together, we're getting there. And driving away has never felt better, especially with the incredible drive-away price of $49,888 for the UX 200 Luxury. Contact your Lexus dealer today.
At Open Universities Australia, we'll help you find the right study choice for you, all in one place. Explore online courses today at open.edu.au.
Service is so good, I signed up my mum.
Another real review from a happy Aussie broadband customer. With thousands of 5-star reviews, an award-winning NBN network and all Australian support, you'll want to introduce us to your parents too. Aussie Broadband. Can't beat feedback.
The biggest thing since joining My Budget is that we've eliminated almost all of our debt. And honestly, we have My Budget to thank for that.
Call My Budget now for your free consultation.
Glen 20 isn't just for the bathroom. It also kills 99.9% of germs and viruses, such as athlete's foot fungus, salmonella, and the common cold virus. Glen 20, one spray, 101 uses.
Save up to 10% on your first year's premium when you get a new Allianz home insurance policy online.
Okay, done.
Get that Allianz feeling. Search for a quote today.
I'm going to have one side of my face have laser skin resurfacing and the other side L'Oreal Revitalift laser cream, and we'll see if the results compare. I actually feel my skin looks much, much better than it did 4 weeks ago on both sides. You can get similar results without the pain.
Revitalift Laser from L'Oreal Paris.
I just love our new home and I can't wait to show you around.
Feel Good Fridays are back. The new living room on 10.
Good afternoon. Well, that's Monday almost done and dusted for the drive home this afternoon. Heading up the Gateway, still a little bit slow as you come from around about that Boondall, Deagon area up through to Bracken Ridge. A little bit patchy coming around the corner there. Heading up Sandgate Road, some slow conditions coming off Toombul Road for the run northbound. On the Pacific Motorway, not a bad run leaving the city outbound to about Green Slopes. That's looking okay. Bit of traffic here on Gympie Road northbound up through Kedron and coming through Aspley in towards Castletown. I'm Dave Andrews. Thanks to Palm Lake Resort and Georgie back to check the roads again for you a little later in the bulletin.
We'll see you again soon. Thank you, Dave. Australians are warned about the dangers of travelling to China after a Victorian man was sentenced to death for drugs charges. Calm Gillespie's friends believe he was set up, with experts saying there's no doubt the penalty is a direct message to our government.
And thank you for dropping by. My name's Calm Gillespie.
From here to death row, Calm Gillespie now faces a Chinese firing squad. But is he simply a hostage to global politics at a time when China is increasingly hostile to Australia?
I think Australians have to be careful about travelling to China at the moment.
For nearly 7 years, Gillespie's legal team has tried to negotiate his release. With the death sentence announced at the weekend, that approach obviously has failed, says friend and business mentor Roger Hamilton.
We will continue to provide Mr Gillespie with consular assistance and engage China on his case.
Calm Gillespie was caught at Guangzhou airport with 7 kilos of methamphetamine, but his friends say that doesn't gel with a man who would barely even drink. On social media, they've revealed his defence that Chinese business partners gave him goodwill gifts, including leather goods and luggage. In the linings, the drugs were stashed, they say. Friend Sue Barley has posted, Calm would never knowingly have been involved in such a thing. It is not in his makeup.
Australia's opposition to the death penalty is bipartisan, multi-partisan, unanimous.
After Australia insisted on an independent inquiry into the origins of the COVID pandemic, China has announced trade restrictions and issued warnings that Australia is racist towards Chinese people. Now, this.
China is really wanting every country in the region to become subservient to China's strategic interests.
After Canada infuriated China by arresting a senior businesswoman on fraud charges, China laid spying charges against 2 Canadians in China and sentenced another to death on drugs charges.
So here is a short snippet.
Gillespie's family says it is saddened by the death sentence, but has asked friends to refrain from speculating publicly. Calm Gillespie has barely a week left to file an appeal, which in China almost never succeeds anyway. Hugh Riminton for 10 News First.
A New South Wales Greens politician is under pressure to publicly condemn a vandalism attack on a statue of Captain Cook, allegedly carried out by one of his own staffers. It comes amid news a second monument has been defaced in what's been called un-Australian.
Different council, same cleanup. In Randwick on Saturday night or Sunday morning, vandals sprayed "No Pride in Genocide" and an Aboriginal flag on this nearly 150-year-old monument to Captain James Cook.
But it's very un-Australian, it's disrespectful and it's wrong.
This one in Hyde Park got the same treatment, allegedly at the hands of these 2 women bailed by the court overnight. Charmaine Morrison-Mills and Jaran Shee, who is a part-time staffer in the office of Greens MP David Shoebridge.
David Shoebridge is always very quick to call for somebody's sacking, and on this case we're calling on him to do the same thing.
I think that he needs to show leadership and he needs to condemn this outright.
In a statement, he said his staffer was not engaged in employment at the time of the incident, which occurred well outside work hours.
Whether or not the person undertook this activity during work hours is irrelevant. Does he tolerate this type of breaking the law or not?
Mr Shoebridge would not be interviewed, today chairing an inquiry into the government's handling of COVID-19, while facing criticism himself. After ignoring social distancing at the Black Lives Matter rally, he then went to a logging protest in an Indigenous community on the mid-north coast.
If we get the virus, the pandemic, into Indigenous communities, it will go right. It'll make the Ruby Princess look like a picnic.
Warren Mundine also believes old monuments should not be ripped down.
We should be using this for education. We should be saying, well, this is how these people in that time thought about these things and did about these things, and this is why we have changed.
The Cook Monument here in Hyde Park now appears to have police watching over it both day and night. At this stage, investigators say they don't have any evidence linking what the Green staffer is accused of doing here and the graffiti attack at Randwick.
Look, I don't think you make your point by damaging property.
They're ruining our history, and we need our history for our children.
Destroying or damaging property can carry 5 years jail, but the Premier is now considering even tougher laws. Daniel Sutton for 10 News First.
Queensland Ballet has made a triumphant return to the studio after months dancing from home. There's now hope it won't be too long before the troupe is once again centre stage in front of an audience.
All the right moves as life returns to Queensland Ballet HQ.
It is fabulous. It is such a happy moment for the dance build to finally come back to the studio.
Lockdown meant curtains for the 2020 season, leaving the company's stars with more downtime than they'd had in years.
Someone actually asked me, when was the last time that you had this much time away from the studio? And I was like, never.
They kept busy by filming performances at home that are being posted online throughout June. It meant converting living rooms, garages and backyards into makeshift studios, with ballet bars and flooring delivered to their doors.
We had to move our table and chairs downstairs and put our flooring in our sort of dining area and take class there every morning.
For senior soloist Mia Heathcote, it was also a chance to get surgery on an ankle which had been causing her pain for a long time, while colleague Georgia Swan had her wisdom teeth removed.
It was good to have that time to just lay on the couch and eat ice cream for a week.
With revenue set to slide by as much as 50% this year, Queensland Ballet has launched a fundraising drive. Any donations will be quadrupled thanks to an anonymous donor.
We are hoping that maybe we'll be able to come back slowly, maybe as early as August or September, but in small crowds.
Brendan Savage for 10 News First.
Well, time for an early weather check now with Georgina Hill. Georgie, it was nice to see some rain on the weekend.
Gee, we were promised the rain and it certainly was delivered with a good couple of millimetres in the gauges across the southeast yesterday. It did leave us feeling a little muggy though, especially overnight. Showers and rain fell in central Queensland and eastern districts as a trough and cold front merged. That trough is weakening now as it moves off the coast, with just some lingering seasonal showers for the northeast and coastal fringe. Temperatures across the southeast today, Brisbane reached a top of 25 degrees. It was 24 on the Gold Coast, 23 on the Sunshine Coast and 25 degrees in Ipswich. Now, if coronavirus has left you feeling a little housebound and cooped up over the past few weeks, now is the perfect time to hit the road, explore Queensland, explore your own backyard. 10 News First has teamed up with Tourism and Events Queensland for an exciting new campaign. I will tell you how you're good to go, along with the extended forecast, Georgie, a little later in the bulletin.
I look forward to it. Thanks, G. Ahead, a wave of unrest in Rome as 2 new COVID clusters emerge. Also, lives lost and buildings destroyed as a tanker erupts in China. And why Rebel Wilson thinks the so-called cancel culture is no laughing matter.
At Palm Lake Resort, luxury over 50s designer living has arrived. Luxury designer homes available right now. Palm Lake Resort. This is your time.
Strap yourselves in, because when Pete, Geraldine and Kitty come to play, it'll be comedy and competition.
Is there a third option?
So are Ed and Sam up for the challenge?
I expect more than that from you, Sam. You shouldn't expect more. No.
New Have You Been Paying Attention? Tonight on 10.
Hi, Chris. As one of our Care Super members, let's go see your super at work. Hold on. I'll show you some of the opportunities and possibilities that are being explored for you. Your super should work as hard as you do, so we're making sure it does.
Harvey Norman, your premium Optus dealer. Receive a $700 Harvey Norman gift card when you sign up to a new service on the Optus $65 per month SIM-only plan for 24 months with 80 gigabytes of data for use in Oz. Offer ends 30th of June. Or receive a $400 Harvey Norman gift card when you sign up to a new $35 per month Optus data plan for 24 months. Available until withdrawn. In-store only. Not available with any other offers. Harvey Norman, your premium Optus dealer.
Go! At Open Universities Australia, we'll help you find the right study choice for you, all in one place. Explore online courses today at open.edu.au.
Right now, most Australians are using their home internet in more ways than ever.
and in more places than ever. Wi-Fi signals get weaker the further you are from your modem. So if you find yourself needing internet in the far corners of your home, you might benefit from a Wi-Fi extender to boost your signal and improve your experience. For more home internet help, visit nbn.com.au/optimise.
Quality, style, exceptional value. A Mazda stands out. At the Mazda Standout End of Financial Year event, get a Mazda CX-5 Max from $32,990 drive away. Search Mazda offers now.
With Choices Flooring, you'll find the colour, style and texture you've been searching for right in your own home with our fun new visualiser, Room View. Visit choicesflooring.com.au and start creating.
Hey, hon. Yep. Oh, how funny. I'm in that aisle now.
Get your Woolies worth with great specials like Nestle Block 118 to 200 grams, now $2.25 each. That's half price.
That's why I pick Woolies.
A promise is something Brighton Homes have always taken seriously. They're committed to building homes that let life in. But right now, a promise is more important than ever. Brighton promises that their homes will still embrace the best in Queensland living, with flexible deposit conditions and a price hold of up to 20 months. Plus, with a considerate cashback of up to 30 grand, you know the future is better with Brighton.
If you're road tripping, RACQ has you covered. More Queenslanders trust us to insure their cars and come to their rescue with 5 levels of roadside assistance. Plus, members save on fuel and more. Get yourself road trip ready with RACQ.
Tonight's finance report is brought to you by Xero, making it easier for small businesses to manage their numbers. Xero, beautiful business.
Hello there. The tourism industry will be worried about the latest international visitor numbers. The border shutdown has seen overseas visitor arrivals plunge more than 99% in April to just 2,200 trips. That's the largest monthly decrease on record. People coming from New Zealand top the list. As for residents returning home, this drop is Australia's largest ever in overseas travel, with just over 17,000 trips in April. The latest household impacts of COVID-19 survey is out. It reports a slight lift in the proportion of people working paid hours, but the number of people out of a job ticked up from mid-May. Now, as restrictions ease, NAB has taken another look at what Australians think about COVID-19. Besides the health worry, almost 6 in 10 now rate the economic impact as a top concern, while women are more worried about the pandemic than men. There's been talk too about COVID-19 forcing a re-evaluation of life and a continuation of working remotely, but the survey shows few are considering a huge lifestyle change. To the share market, there was a sell-off this afternoon. CommSec suggests fears of a second wave of infections could be to blame, but investors liked City Chic after the fashion retailer confirmed it's shutting 14 stores, and healthcare company Helios after it revealed it's selling its medical centres in a deal worth $500 million. To the dollar, it's down against most of the major currencies, and that's finance.
Retailers in England have begun opening their doors to the public for the first time in 3 months. The easing of restrictions on shops selling non-essential items comes as the UK tracks towards its worst recession in more than 3 centuries. Britain recorded 36 coronavirus deaths yesterday, the lowest daily toll since lockdown began. In Italy, 2 new virus clusters have emerged in separate parts of Rome, sparking a panic about a possible second wave. The death toll from this massive gas tanker explosion in eastern China has risen to 19, with more than 170 others injured. The power of the highway blast caused nearby homes and factories to collapse and sent burning wreckage hurtling several kilometres away. The cause is being investigated. Aussie star Rebel Wilson is calling for the so-called cancel culture to be cancelled after watching the work of good friends pulled off air. With a new comedy show about to launch here, she says comedians should be cut a bit of slack.
For a comedian, there's no tougher crowd than other comedians. Something Rebel Wilson decided to prove in a new TV show called LOL, Last One Laughing.
I locked 10 comedians in a room for 6 hours, and the last person not to laugh wins $100,000.
I'm amazed by the lengths they go to. You know, it's just, you just go, wow, I can't believe they've gone there. Some of it's quite raunchy.
Full nudity within the first hour. Who would have thought?
There's a lot of discussion around at the moment about what's off limits in comedy. What do you consider is off limits in comedy? Where should comedians not go?
I personally feel like comedians should be a bit exempt because our job is to flirt with that line of what's acceptable, and sometimes you do cross it and you should be allowed to at times.
And for material from the past which is now deemed not acceptable, should we be forbidden from watching it, or should it still be there so that people can learn from it, I guess?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of just erasing things. I know my mate Matt Lucas's show Little Britain, I think, got pulled, which I just think is a bit crazy.
Yeah, he was your flatmate for a while, wasn't he?
Yeah. We lived together for 3 years. I mean, he's amazing. You know, he's the kindest, most decent human being ever.
Busy as ever, Rebel produced and starred in 2 hit movies last year.
Right now I'm trying to get up a movie by the end of the year to shoot in Australia to employ hundreds of people.
But she also has her eyes on a gig right here on Channel 10. How are you going to fit in being the Bachelorette with all that?
I don't know. I haven't got the call yet, Channel 10.
You're kidding.
So what's happening there?
Last One Laughing streams on Amazon Prime Video from this Friday. Angela Bishop for 10 News First.
Stay with us. Tonight's top stories follow the break. Also, the new research to help the littlest of lives get home ahead of time. And from paddock to plate, serving up Indigenous culture to Queensland kids. Tonight, the Labor Party in turmoil after a branch stacking scandal led to a dramatic sacking.
Bushfires, a pandemic, race riots and now plagues of locusts. What else is in store for 2020?
And a 38-year-old man in Brisbane might have to redo Year 10 after his old school lost his high school certificate. If I had to do Year 10, I reckon I'd fail everything, even sex ed. I've got 3 kids and I have no idea where they came from.
I was told not to
explain. Should I do it up? Anyway, we'll do it after. See you at 6:30.
What's inside the golden mystery box?
Oh my God. Gold ingredients.
This is your golden ticket to immunity.
What they'll create is pure gold.
That's bloody brilliant.
At the heart of RACQ is Queenslanders helping Queenslanders. With the support of our members, together we are making a difference. We've raised vital funds for UQ's COVID-19 research. The RACQ helicopter and jet rescue network is assisting with patient transfers. And now RACQ Foundation is extending funding to community groups impacted by COVID-19. Together, we're helping Queensland's recovery. That's what it means to be a member of RACQ.
There's only one thing to look for. Choose a super fund with this symbol.
We're all in this together.
Now is the time. Time to stop waiting and start making it happen. Time to take the future into your hands. So drop the remote and pick up some new skills. Learn online with industry experts at Queensland's largest training provider. Go from a world of uncertainty to the world at your feet. Find a course online and see where TAFE can take you.
The rear-wheel drive Kia Stinger. It took 7 years to create and 4.9 seconds to understand why.
If you've been injured and can't work, your normal life and income can suddenly stop. Check if you have an insurance claim through your super online in minutes, so you can start again. With Slater and Gordon, tomorrow starts today.
Do yourself a favour and ditch the majors.
Another real review from a happy Aussie broadband customer. With thousands of 5-star reviews, an award-winning NBN network and all Australian support, it's time to tell your telco where to go. Aussie Broadband. Can't beat feedback.
Chloe and Zoe are twins, and Amy customers. So you're identical and you're always on the same page.
Yeah.
2 words.
William Shakespeare. Yes!
A book.
The Count of Monte Cristo. Yes!
What?
Do you choose to save now or later on your insurance?
Later.
Buy a home or car insurance policy and Amy Flexi Premiums lets you vary your excess to save now or later. Choose a higher excess to save now or choose a lower excess to save at claim time.
You're with Amy.
When you want to get out, dive in and reunite in a place you'll always remember. Start planning your escape now. Go to brillianttravels.com.au and register to win one of 4 Dream Island holidays. Sounds like a brilliant idea.
It'll be laughs aplenty when Pete, Geraldine and Kitty join Ed and Sam on New Have You Been Paying Attention tonight.
Hello again as we wrap things up tonight. Got some busy conditions at the moment on the Riverside Expressway and the Captain Cook Bridge, heading out towards Coronation Drive there. A little bit busy just around the Coronation Drive end coming in towards North Quay. The Captain Cook Bridge itself, a little bit of traffic still heading out of town out onto the Pacific Motorway. Not too bad on the Western Freeway tonight, down around the Mount Cootha end, not looking too bad. A little bit slow out towards Victory Pocket, and the run on the Bruce Highway through North Lakes, that's doing okay. Up through Burpengary, as you can see here, plenty of headlights heading in both directions. I'm Dave Andrews, thanks to Palm Lake Resort. Have a great night tonight. I'll be back to check the roads again for you tomorrow.
Tonight's top story is a woman taken to hospital with minor injuries after falling down a mine shaft in Ipswich. The SES volunteer was helping the search for a missing person. Opposition MPs unite behind LNP leader Deb Frecklington as the main contender David Crisafulli rules himself out of the running. The Prime Minister fast-tracks $72 billion of infrastructure projects to help rebuild the nation from the coronavirus pandemic. They're our extra special babies born well before the 40-week mark. Now, 10 News First has been granted exclusive access to one of Sydney's biggest neonatal intensive care wards, tasked with giving them the best chance at life.
It's a hands-on, touching moment of life coming full circle. Nurse Kara Sutner has cared for hundreds of preemie babies, but none as special as this one. 2-week-old Hannah is her own.
Every day I just know that this is a miracle.
For 5 years, she helped other parents at their most vulnerable, working at the Royal Hospital for Women's Neonatal Intensive Care Unit, or NICU.
It's a very intense experience for the families, and it is very memorable for the staff.
Kara left several years ago to start her own family, having 5 beautiful children. But she recently returned as a patient, 28 weeks pregnant with her 6th child, Hannah.
As the doctor said, you're not going anywhere. If you go home and you bleed again the way you did, Hannah's life and your life is in danger.
With this very special care came added comfort from good friends. Meredith Ward has overseen this unit for more than 15 years and seen amazing developments.
So we can now look after babies born as early as 23 weeks gestation and as small as 350 grams.
That's less than a can of Coke and 16 weeks off full term. We're here in the departure lounge of the Royal Hospital for Women. These preemie babies will be going home really soon. One of the biggest breakthroughs here has been moving tiny babies off ventilators as quickly as possible.
We've discovered that the baby's lungs develop better if we allow them to breathe for themselves when they're born, rather than us doing the breathing for them using the ventilator machine.
They do so by measuring the electrical activity in the baby's tiny diaphragm, which signals their intention to breathe. Ali Donaldson for 10 News First.
It's hoped a program teaching Indigenous culture and bush tucker skills will be expanded to reach more Queensland youth. The initiative, supported by Anglicare, introduces young people to heritage, cultural skills and song. It has shown positive signs in diverting children from negative life directions.
I think, the feedback from parents is that, it's just been an absolute life changer for them.
A nursery at Mitre 10 in Gympie is being used as a hands-on teaching environment. Organisers are hoping the model will be adopted statewide. Well, sport time now, Jono. Another sports boss feeling the heat.
Yeah, sports are certainly brutal business at the moment, Georgie. Thank you. Hello, everyone. Coming up, Cricket Australia again in crisis. The board's reportedly sharpening the axe. Details are next. Also, the scans are back for Katoni Stags and the news isn't great. And for the first time in 3 months, a champion has been crowned on the PGA Tour, but it wasn't without drama.
At Palm Lake Resort, luxury over 50s designer living has arrived.
Luxury designer homes available right now. Palm Lake Resort. This is your time.
We chat to fan favourite Khan after he was kicked out of the MasterChef kitchen.
Whether it's cheeky banter...
Sam's decided to wear camouflage tonight.
or witty answers...
What are we looking at?
That's misery.
Well...
You know there's laughs aplenty. So let's see what Pete, Geraldine and Kitty have in store with Ed and Sam on new Have You Been Paying Attention tonight.
At Yui, we're all about how you use or don't use your car. So we're giving our clients and new clients temporary relief on their car insurance premiums if they're using their cars less right now. Go to yui.com.au. Yui, you insured.
Delight her with the best of both worlds, with Fancy Feast savoury centres, soft and tender pâté with a gravy surprise inside, in one irresistible meal. Fancy Feast, love is in the details.
Muscle and osteopain can really tie you down. That pain is caused by inflammation. Nurofen helps reduce inflammation and relieve osteo and muscle pain for up to 8 hours. Break free with Nurofen.
Gold is one of the most valuable metals on Earth. Today, as we work to stay fit and healthy, and medical science continues to explore new ways to save our lives, it's gold nanoparticle cancer research that offers new hope for the future. So as technology transforms our precious metals, it's great to know that Australian gold will help us fight cancer. There's more to Australian mining.
For over 150 years, TradeLink have been helping Australians design their dream kitchens, laundries and bathrooms. We can bring your ideas to life with taps, toilets, sinks and more on sale now. Visit your local TradeLink showroom today.
Get excited because this is Genobi's lowest ever price on a fully computerised machine. The DC1030 is now only $299. That's $100 off RRP. With built-in needle threader and 30 stitches, it's so easy to use. But act quick as this offer won't last.
Bob Jane T-Mart's big brands, bigger deals. Save 25% on J-Track's SUV and 4x4 and Nitto 4x4 tyres. Up to $100 instant cashback on all Bridgestone Jeweller SUV and 4x4 tyres. We won't be beaten on price on BF Goodrich tyres. Plus, the most competitive prices on a huge selection of 4x4 and Ute alloy wheels from just $189. We'll look after you.
You're relying on our network more, so we're accelerating the rollout of Telstra 5G, giving more people and businesses access to fast download speeds in more places than ever.
Getting back on the road is something we're all looking forward to, and Toyota is here to help you do just that. With a range of finance options like offering a $1,500 finance deposit bonus across selected models.
Get Hilux 4x4 SR5 from $53,990 drive away and a $1,500 finance deposit bonus with Toyota Finance.
Like to know more? Go to toyota.com.au.
Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
What's inside the Golden Mystery Box?
Oh my God.
Welcome back. We start with breaking news, and Kevin Roberts is set to become Australian sport's latest high-profile casualty, with Cricket Australia poised to sack the chief executive this week. CA power brokers are apparently frustrated at the stalemate with state associations and the prospect of a pay dispute with players. With staff morale plunging when most was stood down on 20% pay in April, those power brokers want the game to emerge from the COVID-19 crisis in good financial health. Roberts' departure is expected to be announced on Wednesday. The Broncos are refusing to feel sorry for themselves despite a dip in form and a plague of injuries. It comes as they prepare to face former club veteran Andrew McCulloch for the first time since his departure.
Their captain's back, but Alex Glenn might not return in his usual position after Katoni Staggs added his name to Brisbane's injury list.
It seemed a bit serious. It was just in some kind of pain.
The Broncos star centre joining the likes of Jake Turpin and David Fafita in missing at least a month of matches.
If we feel sorry for ourselves, it's not going to go nowhere. We've got to learn quick and adapt faster to all the stuff that's happening around us.
New recruit Isaac Luke is expected to report for training tomorrow and potentially named on the bench as the Broncos prepare to face their former veteran hooker turned Newcastle Knight, Andrew McCulloch, this Thursday.
We're just really proud that he got his opportunity over there, but now we're playing against him. He's obviously going to be telling a lot of our shape, so we got to try something new on him this week. You know, he's going to be over there snitching on us.
The news isn't much better in Townsville. Valentine Holmes will miss at least this week's match against the Tigers with an ankle sprain. That's likely to promote one gamer Hamaso Tabuai-Fido into their number 1 jersey.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind at the back. It's my normal position, and yeah, probably feel more comfortable at the back than I do on the wing, but yeah, just see what happens.
Jordan McLean's also ruled out with a calf strain, while Tom Gilbert's accepted his 3-match ban for a crusher tackle. Corey Thompson won't play for the Tigers, released today to join the Titans until 2022.
All my family's from Brisbane, so I'm staying at Mum's house at the moment, so all the home-cooked meals and that are already coming out.
Veronica Eggleton for 10 News First.
NRL Hall of Famer and Team of the Century member Noel Kelly has passed away. Regarded as one of the toughest men to play the game, Kelly was sent off 17 times playing for his beloved Magpies. He represented Australia on 28 occasions and was the first front rower to go on 3 Kangaroos tours. Born in Ipswich, Kelly was named in the Team of the Century front row beside fellow Queenslanders Duncan Hall and immortal Arthur Beetson in 2007. Noel Kelly was 84. The Suns and Lions are hopeful the Queensland Government will give them the green light to allow some fans into their stadiums this weekend. And the AFL has eased its own COVID restrictions, allowing players in the Queensland hub to surf, fish, play golf and tennis.
After just 2 games, Matt Rowell has fast climbed up his teammates' ratings.
He's a little bit like Michael Voss, I think. He's a bit of a bull over the ball.
He reminds me a bit of Selwood, I think, the way he plays, really tough and inside.
That was reflected in the MVP votes as well, claiming all 10, something rarely seen this soon. The toughest decision now for the coach, who in his side should be dropped, to make way for Brandon Ellis and co-captain David Swallows.
The captain was knocking on the coach's door first thing this morning, so obviously it's a good position to be in. Brando's going to be really close. Dave will obviously come in.
The only thing missing from their drought-breaking win was fans in these seats, but there's renewed hope this week that might change for their clash against the Crows on Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, it's still to be worked through, I mean, it'll be reasonably small, but again, the guys are working through that at the moment.
Adelaide will arrive into their hub on Saturday, a team wounded after their record-breaking showdown loss to Port Adelaide.
When you play like you did on the weekend, you want the next game to come around pretty quickly, so and our next game's going to be up in the hub.
Crows they're a pretty proud club, and I think they've had a bit of issues over the last 6 months or so. So we're expecting them to come up here, start their hub off on a good foot.
Meanwhile, the Eagles will challenge Jeremy McGovern's 1-match ban for striking Alex Sexton in a bid to play against the Lions Saturday night. Josh McLean for 10 News First.
For the first time in 3 months, we have a champion on the PGA Tour. American Daniel Berger secured the 3rd victory of his career, but did get a fair dose of luck. This lip-out cost Xander Schauffele a spot in the playoff, where Colin Morikawa suffered a similar fate.
Jeepers creepers.
Oh, no. Daniel Berger is your champion here.
When I came back stronger than, I ever have before, and I wanted it more than I ever have before.
World number 1 Rory McIlroy had an absolute shocker, tied for 32nd. Matt Jones, the best Aussie, finishing at 5 under. No crowds, Georgie, but still great to have a golf bang.
Looks like nice weather too.
It does.
Thanks, Jono. Queenslanders are good to go. We're all aboard to get you back on the road, and Georgie has all the details next.
Which countries are bursting to be in a travel bubble with Australia? Next.
On Tan's Must See Monday, what they create from this mystery box is pure gold.
That's bloody brilliant.
Then
It's comedy gold on Have You Been Paying Attention?
What are we looking at here?
That's misery.
Well, go for gold on Tan's Must See Monday.
Hey Queensland,
This is our state. It's vast and incredible, with so much to discover. From the tropics to the coast, the outback to the islands, the cities to the rainforest and reef, from the countryside to the water slides. It's time to explore like never before. Hey, mate.
Tom, you on your way? Woohoo! Yeah, mate, good to go.
Let's get out there, Queensland.
Garnier Fructus Hair Food to nourish hungry hair. 98% natural, no parabens, with 3 ways to enjoy. As a conditioner, mask or leave-in. Fructus Hair Food by Garnier. Naturally. Hungry for more? Aloe Vera Hair Food available now.
The rear-wheel drive Kia Stinger. It took 7 years to create and 4.9 seconds to understand why.
Light and Easy's new winter wellbeing menu gives you over 100 delicious meals to enjoy, all packed full of nutrients to keep you healthy throughout the colder months. Eat well and keep well this winter. Order from Light and Easy's new winter menu today.
Customers in Queensland told us that they saved on average $179 when they switched their comprehensive car insurance online to Budget Direct. So why not get a Budget Direct quote today?
If you've been injured at work, on the road or in a public place, your normal life can suddenly stop, including your income. With Slater & Gordon, you can check if you have an insurance claim through your super online in minutes. We'll manage your claim so you can focus on what's really important, getting your future started again. With Slater & Gordon, tomorrow starts today.
As this financial year closes, it's been one of the toughest for many of us. Sunboost, Australia's largest solar company, is stepping up to help Australians save and generate funds at this critical time. And you can accelerate your recovery with an end of financial year Sunboost discount on the most popular family-size solar package.
Boost your financial recovery with a limited $400 end of financial year discount on this premium 6.6 kilowatt system, fully installed for just $35.91, only until June 30. So call 1300 Sunboost today.
Australian governments are now deregistering vehicles fitted with faulty Alpha-type Takata airbags. This could be extended to all faulty Takata airbags. Don't risk your registration or your life. Visit ismyairbagssafe.com.au.
Hey, welcome to our new home.
We can't wait to show you around.
The new living room. Fridays on 10.
Tonight's weather report is brought to you by Queensland, where you're good to go. Start planning at queensland.com because it's time to explore like never before.
It is weather time now. Georgie, is there any more rain on the way?
Gee, we could see a few showers later in the week, but it is staying fine and mostly sunny until then. The perfect weather really to get out and explore the Sunshine State after being cooped up due to COVID-19. We are jumping on board the Good to Go campaign. I will have all the details in just a moment. First though, let's get a live shot of the city right now. Brisbane reached a top of 25 degrees today after an overnight low of 15. Right now in the CBD, it's 21. Humidity is at 72% and the wind is from the east at 6 kilometres per hour. Diving into the satellite, a cold front in the Tasman Sea extends a cloud band off the southeast Queensland coast, while a weakening cold front has crossed southern Victoria and into Tasmania. Some patchy mid-level cloud can also be seen through central Australia. Otherwise, the rest of the mainland is generally cloud-free. Despite that lovely rain we saw on the weekend, a trough is now weakening, only causing a little bit of patchy rain in eastern Queensland, while that cold front down south is bringing brisk winds and showers to southern New South Wales, Victoria and Tassie. We might even see a light dusting of snow through the Alps, and a high will become established over South Australia from today, extending a ridge of high pressure into Queensland. So it looks like the showers have moved on for now, but it was a decent soaking for some parts of the state on both Saturday and Sunday. The best rain band impacted the areas west of Bundaberg and Maryborough, with welcome falls of more than 50 millimetres in parts of the wide Wide Bay Burnett region. Here in Brisbane, 25 millimetres was recorded at the airport in the last 24 hours, 28 millimetres at Burpengary and 31 into the gauge at Moray Field. Now, if today's glorious weather had you dreaming of cocktails by the beach, let me tell you, Queensland, you are good to go. Our regions, towns and tourism operators are ready and open for you to start planning your next holiday. Along with Tourism and Events Queensland, 10 News First is encouraging everyone to get out and about. Explore your backyard, take a drive to the country, go for a bushwalk with friends and family. We'll even be sending our own Josh Holt on the road next week to inspire your next visit. Jump online to queensland.com for more information and start planning your next adventure today. Around the country tomorrow, sunny for Sydney and 21 degrees. Showers increasing and 18 in Melbourne. Similar conditions for Hobart, showers and a windy 15 degrees. 17 and showers easing in Adelaide. 22 partly cloudy for Perth. Sunny and a warm 34 for Darwin. Back home in Queensland, and 28 and sunny for Cairns. 27 for Townsville. Also 27 degrees in Longreach. Some morning frost around for Roma tomorrow, 21 degrees. Partly cloudy and 25 for Maryborough and Bundaberg and 24 for Gympie. Mostly sunny again across the southeast tomorrow. Overnight temperatures falling to between 8 and 14 degrees with daytime temperatures reaching the low to mid 20s. Out on the bay tomorrow, southerly winds 20 to 25 knots, seas 1 to 1.5 metres, increasing to 1 to 2 in the far north. It will be another sunny day in Brisbane tomorrow, 24 degrees with just some light winds around. Looking further ahead, 24 again on Wednesday. We could see those showers returning, as I said, on Thursday, a top of 23 degrees, 22 and showers on Friday, and those showers could be sticking around into the weekend. 21 degrees on Saturday, 22 on Sunday. Heading to Ipswich, similar conditions again tomorrow, sunny and 25 degrees. 24 and partly cloudy on Wednesday. Again, those showers could creep back in on Thursday, a top of 24 degrees. Also showers around on Friday, 22 and 21 on Saturday. I will have the extended forecast, including for the Gold and Sunshine Coast, coming up a little later.
From search to rescue, tables turn on an SES volunteer after falling down a mine shaft at Collingwood Park, sparking a delicate mission to bring her to safety. The LNP's leader of the pack, MPs, throw their support behind Deb Frecklington amid mounting pressure. And relaxed restrictions means more mourners at funerals around the state. An SES volunteer is tonight in hospital after becoming the unexpected centre of a search and rescue operation. As Chris Campy reports, the woman fell down an abandoned mine shaft west of Brisbane while looking for someone else.
Georgie, I spoke to officials who took her out in an ambulance really just a few minutes ago. They say she does have a substantial bump to her head and also some hypothermia. We understand she fell a significant distance down that mine shaft. She was only wearing short shorts and some light clothing, and she was in knee-deep water for some hours before this rescue operation took place. We now are understanding that she is an SES volunteer who was working this area, which is littered with coal mine shafts or old coal mine shafts, and she was involved in a search for a missing person. It was during that search that she found herself in that mine shaft and help had to be mounted. So it was her own people who were rescuing her. A significant rescue operation came in. There were multiple fire trucks, multiple SES teams and specialist climbers who went down to get her. It was some tens of metres, we're told, to the bottom of that shaft, so it took a long time to even find her in the first place. But overall, she is now in an ambulance and on her way to better care, and we understand that her injuries aren't too substantial.
Deb Frecklington has survived a potential coup, with the LNP party room moving a motion of support for her as leader. As Claire Barnes reports, it came after the main contender, David Crisafulli, ruled himself out of the running.
Well, the LNP is desperately trying to hose down speculation of a leadership challenge with the election looming. Today there was a very public show of support for Deb Frecklington, who led MPs into a party room meeting this afternoon. The LNP leader has been under intense pressure following leaked internal polling showing she's struggling in popularity. She blames the so-called backroom bullies in party headquarters.
But what I would say to anyone or any detractor is the enemy is the Palaszczuk government.
It just seems to be a group of grumpy old men who want to go back to the bad old days.
Tipped as the most likely challenger, Shadow Tourism Minister David Crisafulli set the record straight, ruling out a tilt at the leadership.
There's 38 people in that room. Not one of them can say that I have ever once said a bad word about the leader, about our prospects of winning.
I do not care about the LNP. I'm focused on Queenslanders. They are focused on themselves. Only my government is focused on the job at hand.
Well, while the government will be keen to keep the heat on the opposition, it's facing its own headaches over a promise to freeze public sector pay rises, which has angered unions and workers.
As Queensland recorded another day of no new coronavirus cases, the state government has moved to ease heartbreaking restrictions on funerals. From tomorrow, 100 mourners will be allowed to attend a service, with organisers needing to keep a list of attendees.
So that if there were to be a case amongst that group of 100, our contact tracers can very quickly get hold of the other people. That's very important.
The Premier also says state borders are still on track to open as early as July 10, with a review at the end of this month. The federal government is freeing up another $1.5 billion to fast-track major infrastructure projects in a bid to get more people back to work. But the latest big-ticket spending spree wasn't enough to dominate question time in Parliament.
The Prime Minister's big announcement overshadowed by an ALP scandal, but Scott Morrison didn't seem fazed.
The Leader of the Opposition is blaming everybody for his problems today. He's blaming everybody for his problems today, Mr Speaker.
Taking advantage of a rowdy chamber.
But I note today we have who's going to protect Albo on the front.
As the Speaker of the House patiently waited for calm, MPs finally got down to business. Questions raised over the government's sudden infrastructure push, which will see 15 major projects fast-tracked, including dam and emergency water projects for South Australia and New South Wales.
The government came to office promising 100 dams, and for 7 years now, the last dams built were Labor projects.
We're getting on with the job of building dams, and I've never had once the Shadow Minister for Water come to my office and say, I'd love to see these dam projects put on the list.
The Prime Minister's announcement came at an economic forum this morning. With it, an ambitious target for job creation.
That will support 66,000 direct and indirect jobs.
Aiming to cut the red tape and bring deregulation under his control.
Today I announced that I'm bringing the deregulation task force into my own department, into the Department of Prime Minister and Cabinet as part of the government's job maker agenda.
But we've seen many big ticket announcements from the government so far this year designed to fast track Australia's economy in the face of twin crises. Whether or not they can be delivered remains to be seen. Stella Todorovic for 10 News First.
Police have confirmed the remains found at the Chinchilla Weir in March belonged to a missing toddler. Investigators uncovered the bones during a comprehensive search, with forensic tests showing they're those of 3-year-old Cadence Mills. Cadence's mother and her partner were charged with the little girl's murder, torture and interfering with a corpse. They're due to appear in court again later this month. The woman accused of sparking the 2018 strawberry needle scare, which cost the industry millions, has returned to court. A committal hearing was told her arrest came after DNA testing linked her with one of the needles found in a punnet.
Mai Ut Trin is accused of an act of sabotage that brought an industry to its knees. The 52-year-old returned to court today for the next step in what will be a long and complex case. She's facing 6 counts of contaminating goods with intent to cause economic loss after needles were discovered in strawberries shipped around the country in September 2018. Giving evidence today, a co-worker told the court he'd heard Ms Trin joke about putting needles into strawberries. A senior investigating officer said that claim had made her a person of interest early in the investigation, but she wasn't arrested until after DNA testing linked her with one of the needles. We decided we had sufficient evidence after the DNA came back. Ms Trin was taken into custody in November 2018.
Ms Trin's defence lawyer questioned police witnesses over why certain lines of inquiry had stopped, drawing attention to reports of a suspicious vehicle at another strawberry farm in the area in the days leading up to the contamination discovery.
You must keep in mind all these strawberry farms are open to the public. You can walk into these strawberry farms at any time in any place. Late today, the magistrate adjourned the hearing after Ms Trin's defence requested more information on other possible avenues of investigation. The matter is due back in court on July 27. Samantha Butler for 10 News First.
2 police officers charged with assaulting a Gold Coast teenager who later died have fronted court for the first time. As John Paul Gonzo reports, the pair stayed silent as they faced the victim's family.
It is their duty to protect and serve, but today 2 police officers fronted court charged with assault and perjury over the tragic death of 19-year-old Charlie Robertson. Senior constables Blake William Joseph Sullivan and Grant Thomas Watkins made a brief appearance in Brisbane Magistrates Court this morning and are yet to enter a plea.
Do you intend to fight the charges?
The pair was among 7 officers who executed a search warrant at a Nobby Beach unit in 2015. Inside was Charlie Robertson. He'd taken a cocktail of drugs and was unconscious. According to a coronial inquest, the officers tried to wake the 19-year-old for 90 minutes, which included shining a torch on him, rubbing his sternum, pinching his chest, shaking him, pouring water on him and tipping up the bed he was on. Actions a coroner described as inappropriate, incompetent and disrespectful. Despite paramedics being at the scene, they didn't attend to Charlie. Hours later, the university student was dead.
He was our champion. He was such a good boy. He excelled at everything he did. Charlie is owed justice. He's owed an apology. We've had nothing resembling any sort of regret, remorse, compassion from anybody.
Both officers have been stood down. Their case returns to court next month.
Police have broken up the protest group outside the Kangaroo Point Detention Centre. Officers moved in this afternoon, issuing formal move-on notices to demonstrators. One constable spent 3 minutes explaining the directive before arresting one of the protesters.
All right, at this point in time, as I told you, my name's Constable Dunn. You're going to be placed under arrest for contravene requirement, okay?
Wait, I haven't. You haven't given me a formal order. You haven't given me...
Formal requirement. We gave you ample opportunity, so you've been placed under arrest.
But you haven't given me any notice.
The group is planning to hold another rally at the hotel on Sunday. Another Black Lives protester tests positive to COVID-19. The details are next. Also, back on the beat, hundreds of drivers caught out as RBT operations begin again around the state. Plus, the bright green glow that was as quick as a flash. And players in the hub can finally start enjoying the Gold Coast as restrictions ease.
Could a plague of locusts be the new 2020 global threat? And the tongue-in-cheek photos that show targeted statues taking back the power.
Bunnings has a great range of home security products.
Video doorbell, only $329. Security camera, just $69.
Where you find a competitor's lower price on the same stocked item will beat it by 10%. Shop at Bunnings wherever you are, whenever you want.
I'm going to have one side of my face have laser skin resurfacing and the other side L'Oreal Revitalift laser cream, and we'll see if the results compare. I actually feel my skin looks much, much better than it did 4 weeks ago on both sides. You can get similar results without the pain.
Revitalift Laser from L'Oreal Paris.
Do you know what type of cough you have? Do you have the right cough medicine? Bronchodual relieves any cough. It can be used for the relief of dry, tickly, chesty, mucus or phlegm coughs. Bronco Dual relieves any cough.
With Belong, you get 10 gigs of mobile data for $25 a month. That's 10 gigs of family time, 10 gigs of scrolling through memory lane, 10 gigs of staycations, or 10 gigs of catching up with the family. Plus, unlimited international calls and text to selected countries for $5 extra. We all spend family time differently. Together, we're different. Belong.
Can care be better at home?
Someone from Medibank mentioned that there's a chance I can do rehab at home.
I said, oh, how much extra is that going to cost?
And they said, no, you've got it in your hospital cover. It just was fantastic for me.
There's a glass and a half in everyone.
With Choices Flooring, you'll find the colour, style and texture you've been searching for right in your own home with our fun new visualiser, Room View. Visit choicesflooring.com.au and start creating.
Save 20% on your second policy when you buy new eligible Suncorp home and car insurance together before July 10. Helping you save when you need it most. That's the Suncorp spirit.
Introducing BP Rewards. Earn BP points to spend in store.
BP Rewards.
Or get dollars off fuel.
BP Rewards.
Or choose to earn Qantas points.
Totally BP Rewards.
Start earning today. Your rewards, your way.
Hey guys! Welcome to our new home.
Wow, look at this place!
Come on through, I'll show you around.
OMG, we got a book!
Hey,
whoa!
Just wait till you see our brand new living room.
The new season back on Fridays on 10.
A second protester who attended Melbourne's Black Lives Matter rally has contracted coronavirus. The young woman had herself tested after developing mild flu-like symptoms. However, health authorities believe it's likely she picked up the virus at a different location. Thousands marched just over a week ago in defiance of health warnings. Victoria's Chief Health Officer says COVID-19 symptoms can take up to 14 days to appear. Police are back on the roads conducting random breath tests across the state. Over the weekend, 22,000 tests were conducted, with 225 drivers caught drink driving. 1 in 3 tested for drugs also returned positive results, with 300 drug tests carried out. Police are reminding road users that RBT operations are back into full swing as coronavirus restrictions lift and roads get busier. Scandal has engulfed the Victorian state government. Disgraced Senior Minister Adam Somyurek has been sacked from Cabinet, banned from the ALP and referred to the anti-corruption watchdog. Simon Love has the details.
Adam Somyurek is accused of using his own money to create fake branch members in an effort to increase his political power. The Labor MP refused to comment on the claims as he left home this morning, opting to drive into a political storm. By 9 a.m, he'd been given his marching orders.
His conduct and his comments are completely deplorable. They are shameful.
It followed secret recordings made inside a federal electorate office and on the phone. Adam Somyurek was also recorded making misogynistic comments about the gay community and Victoria's Minister for Women.
Fourth out of the mystery, that stupid Andrews goes. She's a stupid mole.
In a statement, Adam Somyurek said he would rigorously defend allegations of branch sacking, but he apologised for remarks about Gabrielle Williams and the LGBTIQ community. Hours later, he quit the Labor Party, the federal executive declaring he'd never be welcomed back.
The Labor Party have a lot of explaining to do.
The Labor Party will be a better party with the removal of this individual.
The Victorian Premier has referred the matter to the state's corruption watchdog and the police.
A mysterious fireball has lit up the skies over WA's north. Night shift mine workers in the remote Pilbara region spotted the bright green glow around 1 this morning.
Whoa, what the is that? Hey, can anyone see that in the sky or what? Look at that comet.
The fireball was initially thought to be a piece of burning space junk, but astronomers now believe it was a meteor. It's unlikely we'll ever know where in space it came from or if any remnants hit Earth. It's pretty bright, isn't it?
Absolutely amazing.
Just as colourful as that guy's language. Well, Jono's back now with another look at sport.
Thank you, Georgie. Hello again. Bulldogs coach Dean Pay's furious gun forward Aidan Tolman will be watching tonight's delayed match against the Roosters on TV in self-isolation, despite testing negative to COVID-19. Emma Lawrence is at Sydney's Bankwest Stadium ahead of tonight's clash.
Well, facing the Roosters is tough enough as it is, but having to do it without one of your senior forwards makes life all the more difficult. Now, Aidan Tolman had to go and get tested because where his children go to school, a teacher was found to have COVID-19. Yesterday, he was cleared, and this afternoon we got confirmation that all 50 members of this Bulldogs playing and coaching roster were also cleared. So naturally, their coach, Dean Pay, is assuming, well, Tolman is good to go. But in fact, that is not the case. He has to be quarantined now for 2 weeks because the NRL say he could still be in that incubation period, and they really just have to take every precaution possible. That could mean that he could be missing for up to 3 matches for the Dogs. As you can imagine, Coach Dean Pay is not happy about that. But I think from a fan's perspective, everyone is just relieved that we're getting some footy tonight and the competition won't be interrupted after so much effort that went into getting it back up and running once again.
The team's AFL players in the Gold Coast hub will now have more freedom than they did in round 1. The competition is easing restrictions to allow them to surf, play golf and tennis and even go fishing, something that could also bode well for crowds being allowed back into matches this weekend.
Yeah, we'd love to play in front of our fans, no doubt, and you know, it's looking likely that we'll be able to play in front of some of our fans this weekend, which is exciting.
That's probably the one thing that we were missing on the weekend was having the crowd there supporting us.
Port Adelaide will enter their hub on Friday with the Crows the following day. Real Madrid have
3 minutes on the clock while the big guns are wasting no time in making a mark this weekend.
La Liga action. It moves Madrid within 2 points of competition leaders Barcelona, setting up a dogfight with 10 games to go. Welcome to the Ultimate Tennis Challenge, where matches are broken up into quarters, not games. Winners can be 3-pointers, and a 5th set has made way for a sudden death. Confused? Well, you're not alone, because one of the chair umpires couldn't figure out when a match ended.
You win 2 points in a row and that's it. And the match is complete, as I said. A little bit of confusion there amongst the players, but the rules, well, they were clear to me, and I think...
That makes one of us the win. It was even more strange for Feliciano Lopez, given his phone alarm went off on match point. But for refusing to snooze, Lopez also wins our play of the day. I was confused reading that, Georgie, so I don't know how to play.
I was confused following along. Thanks, Jono. More sunshine on the way. Georgie's back with all the weather details next.
Each of these boxes is a golden opportunity.
You can lift your lids now.
Wow. Gold ingredients.
This is your golden ticket to immunity.
What they'll create is pure gold.
I spend my career searching for those food highs where you go, that's bloody brilliant. That was one of those moments.
The Golden Mystery Box, 7:30 tonight on 10.
Are your gums sore? Most oral health problems start with gums and teeth enamel. I recommend Oral-B Gum Care and Enamel Restore toothpaste. It helps revitalise gums and helps restore weakened teeth enamel. Use daily for your gums and teeth. I'm convinced by the science. Try Oral-B.
If you're road tripping, RACQ has you covered. More Queenslanders trust us to insure their cars and come to their rescue with 5 levels of roadside assistance. Plus, members save on fuel and more. Get yourself road trip ready with RACQ.
Unpolished beauty. It defines our country. And at Stratco, it's what we do. Custom crafting, roofing and cladding solutions for remarkable Australian homes. Colorbond Steel's stunning matte finish. Brought to life by Stratco How To.
Telfast knows that hay fever can strike at any time. It works fast to relieve allergy symptoms like watery eyes, a runny nose and sneezing. Nothing beats Telfast for staying alert and focused when hay fever strikes.
Get excited, because this is Genovi's lowest ever price on a fully computerised machine. The DC1030 is now only $299. That's $100 off RRP. With built-in needle threader and 30 stitches, it's so easy to use. But act quick, as this offer won't last.
Cookie people, cream people, crumbs people, clean people, twist people, lick people, dunk people, munch people. It's on the play, people. If you twist, lick, dunk, then you're my people. We are Oreo people.
How's that for serenity?
Can care be better at home?
Oh, it's sanctuary. Your home's a bit of a sanctuary. Yeah, for me, rehab at home, it gave me a huge amount of flexibility to be able to do the things I wanted to do. It allowed me to unstress and be in the moment in your house in your own comfort zone, which was really good for me and my state of mind.
Search Medibank at Home to see how we're creating better choices for our members.
Glen 20 isn't just for the bathroom. It also kills 99.9% of germs and viruses, such as athlete's foot fungus, salmonella, and the common cold virus. Glen 20, one spray, 101 uses.
Light and Easy's new winter wellbeing menu gives you over 100 delicious meals to enjoy, all packed full of nutrients to keep you healthy throughout the colder months. Eat well and keep well this winter. Order from Light and Easy's new winter menu today.
At the heart of RACQ is Queenslanders helping Queenslanders. With the support of our members, together we are making a difference. We've raised vital funds for UQ's COVID-19 research. The RACQ helicopter and jet rescue network is assisting with patient transfers. And now RACQ Foundation is extending funding to community groups impacted by COVID-19. Together, we're helping Queensland's recovery. That's what it means to be a member of RACQ.
Up next, the Labor Party in chaos after a branch stacking scandal was blown wide open. While the whole world deals with the coronavirus crisis, Africa's also facing another plague. And tears all round after a MasterChef fan favourite's emotional elimination. The Project next.
Well, time for a final look at the weather. Georgie, the sunshine returned today.
Gee, after that lovely rain over the weekend, the sunshine did make a comeback today. It was quite warm too across much of the southeast. Taking a look at the satellite, and the cloud in southeast and central Queensland in a weak trough is generating some patchy showers still after the wet weekend, while cloud over the far southern New South Wales, Victoria and into Tasmania is near a cold front is bringing showers, even a dusting of snow to the Alps. The high pressure system over South Australia will continue to strengthen while remaining slow moving. Tomorrow, the ridge will strengthen along the east coast of Queensland with south to southeasterly trade winds generally increasing and leading to a slight to medium chance of showers off the east coast, increasing to high to very high chance about the north tropical coast. Yesterday's rain kept things humid overnight, making it a little tricky to sleep last night, but the garden certainly soaked up every single drop over the weekend. Bracken Ridge recorded 30 millimetres of rain in 24 hours, 26 fell in that time at Kalenga and 31 was recorded at Morayfield. Tuesday is shaping up like this around the state. Sunny and 28 degrees in Cairns, 27 for Townsville, also 27 degrees in Longreach. Some morning frost around for Roma tomorrow, 21, partly cloudy and 25 for Maryborough and Bundy and 24 in Gympie. Mostly sunny again tomorrow across the southeast too. Overnight temperatures falling to between 8 and 14 degrees with daytime temps reaching the low to mid-20s. Sunny in Brisbane, 24 degrees tomorrow for your Tuesday with just some light winds around. Looking further ahead, partly cloudy on Wednesday, 24 degrees again. We could see those showers return on Thursday, 23 degrees, 22 and some showers around on Friday as well. Mostly sunny again tomorrow for Ipswich, 25 degrees, 24 on Wednesday. Similar conditions there. The chance of a shower or two again again returning on Thursday and Friday before the temperatures start to drop on Saturday. A lovely day on the Gold Coast tomorrow, sunny and 23 degrees, 23 again on Wednesday. And then the temperatures will stay in the low 20s for the remainder of the week, with possible showers again on Thursday, Friday and into the weekend. Similar conditions on the Sunshine Coast tomorrow, 23 degrees for Tuesday and Wednesday, 23 and a couple of showers on Thursday. Georgie, we are so excited to be part of the Good to Go campaign. I reckon you and I need to plan a little girls' trip.
Sounds like it, G.
Yes.
Let's hit the road soon. We need to get some time off. That is 10 News First for now. For details on tonight's bulletin, head to 10play.com.au. We'll see you again tomorrow. Have a good night.
Tonight, the PM's grand plan to get Australia's economy back on track.
It will take us an estimated 2 years just to get back to the level we were at prior to COVID-19.